الله الرحمن الرحيم والذين كفروا أعمالهم كسراب بقيعة يحسبه الظمآن ماء حتى إذا جاءه لم يجده شيئا ووجد الله عنده فوفاه حسابه والله سريع الحساب. My dear respected elders and brothers, mothers and sisters, today we are starting our Tafseer from Surah number 39, and we are in Surah An-Nur. Surah An-Nur is the 24th Surah of the Quran, and it is in the 18th Juz, Qad Aflah. Last week, we spoke and we talked about Ayat An-Nur, where Allah wa Ta'ala was talking about how He is the illuminator. He is the one that gives all the light and lights up the skies and the earth. And then after that, Allah Ta'ala spoke about the nur that is in the heart of a mu'min, the nur that is in the heart of a believer. And it is like a beautiful lantern that's on a niche, and that lantern is lit up, the flame of it is lit up by olive oil, which is very pure. So that sparkling light, Allah Ta'ala calls it nurun ala nur, meaning the nur of tawheed that is in every single person's heart. It mixed with the nur of hidayat that Allah Ta'ala gave him. And whoever has not been given that nur, Allah Ta'ala mentioned at the ending, وَيَضْرِبُ اللَّهُ الْأَمْثَالِ لِلنَّاسِ يَهْدِي اللَّهُ لِنُورِهِ مَن يَشَاءُ. Allah Ta'ala guides towards His nur whoever He wants. Whoever He wants to give hidayat to, and whoever Allah Ta'ala wants to mix that nur of hidayat with the nuri fitrah, which we called it last week, that natural nur that's in every person of tawheed, and the fact that he can recognize Allah Ta'ala. If Allah Ta'ala wants to give that to anyone, He gives it to whoever He wants, and some people obviously, they are not given that. After that, Allah Ta'ala mentioned the place where those people are found, who have the nur in their heart, and it is the masajid. Fi buyutin, in houses, which Allah Ta'ala has allowed that they be raised and His name be said in there. And also, they are worshipping Allah Ta'ala in the morning and the evening time there. Those men, they are not distracted from any bay, any type of business deals, from the remembrance of Allah Ta'ala. No distractions at all. They still stay on the remembrance of Allah Ta'ala, even though they might be in the midst of the market area, in their businesses, doing their businesses, they still are remembering Allah Ta'ala. And the business also does not distract them from establishing prayer and giving the zakat, even though they may get a lot of money. They don't hoard it and they don't keep it for themselves, but they give it to the poor and they pay the zakat on that money. And their heart also is always trembling with the fear of Allah Ta'ala. They are fearing that day where the hearts and the eyes will be turned on that day. Allah Ta'ala has guided these people and let them do these amal so He can reward them with even better than that they did. And Allah Ta'ala may increase them by His fadl, meaning Allah Ta'ala may give them the vision of Himself, and we can see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of Qiyamah. وَاللَّهُ يَرْزُقُ مَن يَشَاءُ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. And Allah Ta'ala, He provides to whoever He wants without any limitations. So we did that last week. That was just a wrap-up of what we did last week, speaking about the nur of Allah Ta'ala and speaking about the nur of the mu'min, which Allah Ta'ala gives and puts in the person's heart. Now, opposite, talking about the darkness of kufr and the baselessness of good deeds of that person who doesn't have iman. First, Allah wa Ta'ala talks about the a'mal of the akhirat, that those people who do good deeds, but they don't have iman and they don't have faith, so their deeds will be rendered valueless, their deeds will be rendered invalid on the day of Qiyamah, and they'll have no rewards. Let's do the first ayat, and then we'll talk about the two ayats and what they may mean. Allah Ta'ala says, وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. Those people who disbelieve in Allah Ta'ala. أَعْمَالُهُمْ, their deeds, meaning the deeds that are outwardly good. كَسَرَابٍ. Sarabin, in English we'd call it miraj. It's that mist that some ulama say bukhar. It's a smoke or a mist that is over the ground in the desert, that usually midday it comes. Some say it's not a mist, but it's from the rays of the sun, and it's kind of wavy, and it makes it look like there's water from far away. And a person who's in the desert, and a person who's in thirst and wants to drink something, so from far away it looks like it's water, but when he goes there he realizes it is just the rays of the sun hitting off the desert floor. So their deeds are like a miraj. Biqi'atin. Qi'a is a desert, a desolate desert, a barren desert, a desert which has nothing on it, no trees, anything. And we've seen deserts before. So it's like a miraj in a desolate, or you can say in a barren desert. يَحْسَبُهُ ظَمْآنُ مَاءً. And the one who's thirsty, ظَمْآن, ظَمَأٌ means to be thirsty. So the thirsty person, يَحْسَبُ, he thinks it مَاءً, to be water. حَتَّى إِذَا جَاءَهُ, until he arrives at it, لَمْ يَجِدْهُ شَيْئًا, he finds it to be nothing. فَوَفَّاهُ حِسَابًا وَوَجَدَ اللَّهَ عِنْدَهُ, and then he finds Allah Ta'ala by him. فَوَفَّاهُ حِسَابًا, and then Allah Ta'ala repays him fully. And we know that if it's because if he did those deeds with kufr, then the repayment will not be of rewards, but it will be of punishment. So Allah Ta'ala has given an example of the non-Muslim, a person who may even believe in some type of God, and he does good deeds. Maybe he does some charity, maybe he is helping out some people, maybe he's an honest person, a good person. At the time of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, though the mushrikeen did not believe in Allah Ta'ala how they were supposed to, but they still would feed the people who came for Hajj and give them drinks of water. And they were sakhi, and they were very generous, and they helped each other out. It was an honor for them to help their families. So these type of things that it's in. Goodness is an innate quality of insan. Everybody does some good. Some people do a lot of good. But of course we know that if it's without faith, then on the day of Qiyamah, Allah Ta'ala gives no rewards at all. In this dunya, of course Allah Ta'ala rewards them. If a person does good many a time, it's because he has that big house and good health and a full plate of food every day and respect in his job and a beautiful car and afiyat, everything's happy, vacations every 3 months. These are all the rewards for the good that they do. So Allah Ta'ala in this world gives different rewards to people, but in the hereafter, if there's no iman and no faith coupled with those deeds, there is no reward at all. It's like a miraj. It's like a person who's depending on those deeds to be something, or the person like he's in the desert and he's depending on that being water, and he's walking and walking until he gets there and he finds it's nothing. لَمْ يَجِدْهُ شَيْئًا. The same thing with this person. He does these deeds, passes away, and thinks now that now I will get my rewards for this. وَجَدَ اللَّهَ عِنْدَهُ. He finds Allah Ta'ala, most ulama say, وَجَدَ اللَّهَ مُحَاسِبًا عِنْدَهُ. He finds Allah Ta'ala will be judging him on the day of Qiyamah in front of him. And فَوَفَّاهُ حِسَابًا. Allah Ta'ala, of course, is the one that when He judges, if you did good, then He will give you the full reward of your good. But unfortunately, if you did bad, Allah Ta'ala is al-muntaqim. He takes revenge, and Allah Ta'ala will punish fully if you did bad. So this person, of course, will not get the rewards, and of course, because of his kufr and his disbelief, he will be punished by Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala says, Wallahu sari'ul hisab. Allah Ta'ala is very quick in his reckoning. Allah Ta'ala, of course, a question may arise that billions and millions of people will be getting reckoning on the day of Qiyamah. So Allah Ta'ala is sari'ul hisab. Very quickly He can recollect the whole life of a person and put it before them and judge all of their deeds. Allah Ta'ala, one of His qualities is this, sari'ul hisab. And many a time those who are in disbelief, may Allah Ta'ala protect us from dying on disbelief and give us death on iman. Allah Ta'ala in other surahs has mentioned, other ayahs have mentioned, وَلَا هُمْ يُسْتَعْتَبُونَ. They will not be even given an opportunity to make amends. If you do something wrong in this world, a police officer catches you, you go to court, you explain yourself. If your father or mother catches you doing something wrong, right? When you were younger, so you explain yourself. Mom, Dad, let me explain myself. I misunderstood. On the day of Qiyamah, وَلَا هُمْ يُسْتَعْتَبُونَ. No one will be given an opportunity to please Allah Ta'ala or to make amends with Him on that day. No one can tell Allah Ta'ala, Ya Allah, wait 1 second. Let me explain to you. No. When the hisab starts, Allah is Sari'ul Hisab. You did this, you did that, you finished it, but let me go, finish, done. Go. And if it's Jahannam, may Allah Ta'ala protect us. What a terrible, terrible condition that would be, that you were not even able to explain yourself. And even if you explained yourself and gave the ma'adira, and gave the excuses, obviously Allah Ta'ala, na'udhu billah, is not a zalim, and He's not going to be punishing people, though there is a proper excuse. Right? Allah Ta'ala mentions, بَالْ إِنسَانُ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ بَصِيرًا وَلَوْ أَلْقَى مَعَاذِيرًا. Right? Insan, he knows that he's done wrong, but he still will make an attempt to give excuses. He knows he did wrong. He knows there's no explanation for it. But still he'll say, even the mushrikeen will try to tell Allah Ta'ala on the day of Qiyamah, Wallahi ma kunna mushrikeen. We swear we were not mushriks. They'll lie to him. And they'll say, we swear by you, Ya Allah, we weren't mushriks. What are you talking about? I saw you, I'm looking. I saw you a mushrik. Right? They will say that also to Allah Ta'ala, that we never even stayed in the qabr, غَيْرَ سَاعَةٍ, more than an hour. Allah Ta'ala says, كَذَلِكَ يُفَكُونَ. This is the same way they used to reject the reality of the resurrection in the dunya. They're rejecting the reality of how long they stayed in the qabr. You were there for 900, 500, 1,000 years. Where you were not in the qabr for more than an hour. So they reject that reality in the same way in the dunya they used to reject the realities of Allah Ta'ala. So Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala says here, Wallahu Sari'ul Hisab. Now the second person, according to Mufti Shafi in Ma'arif al-Quran, he says this is talking about two different people. The first person was a non-Muslim who believes in God. And he does good deeds, and he does it with the i'tiqad, and he does it with the belief that there will be rewards in the hereafter for it. But his belief in Allah is wrong. His belief in God is wrong. That was the first person. Now, Mufti Shafi in his tafsir says, the second person is a person who is an atheist. He doesn't believe in Allah at all, nor does he do good deeds, and even if he does something good, he does it just because it's the natural instinct in him, and he doesn't believe that there'll be any rewards at all in the hereafter. So Allah Ta'ala says here, أو كظلمات في بحر اللجي يغشاه موج من فوقه من فوقه سحاب ظلمات بعضها فوق بعض إذا أخرج يده لم يكد يراها ومن لم يجعل الله له نورا فما له من نور. Allah Ta'ala says, all their deeds, كَظُلُمَاتٍ, they are like darkness. Not even darkness, darknesses. Right? One is just turn off the lights. Right? But one is if we turn off the lights and also the lights outside are out. There's an electrical problem. So the light outside, and also it's a cloudy night and there's no light from the moon coming. Complete darkness, darkness upon darkness. So that person who doesn't believe in Allah Ta'ala, it is like darknesses, fi bahri lujji, in the depths of the ocean. Bahr means ocean, lujji means deep, the abyss. In the depths of the ocean where there's no light at all, yaghshahu mawjun min fawqihi sahab. And it is surrounding that ocean, and it is hovering over that ocean. Wave, and on that is another wave. So there's more darkness on top, which is even blocking out the light from the moon outside. There's waves that are now going over and blocking any thought of light coming in. And then after that, min fawqihi sahab, that even if though there was a crack between those waves, but outside in the sky, it's a very cloudy, dark day. And the nighttime, when the clouds are there, you can't even see the moon. Pitch blackness. That's why Allah Ta'ala says, ظُلُمَاتٌ بَعْضُهَا فَوْقَ بَعْضٍ. This is darknesses which are on top of each other. So much darkness. So dark, إِذَا أَخْرَجَ يَدَهُ لَمْ يَكَدْ يَرَاهَا. When he takes out his hand, he can't even see it. A person is in such dark, and sometimes a person may be in a dark room or something, and you put your hand in front of you, you can't even see. If someone was in front of you, even if it was a tiger or a lion, you wouldn't even see it until you hear it. So he puts the hand in front of him, he can't even see his own hand. That's how dark it is. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجْعَلِ اللَّهُ لَهُ نُورًا. Whoever Allah ta'ala does not give nur to, فَمَا لَهُ مِن نُور, then there will be no light for him. So Mufti Shafi in Ma'arif al-Quran has mentioned that this example is the example of an atheist. A person, his deeds are so dark that they are not even coupled with a thought that Allah or God will give any reward for it. That's why his deeds are so dark, and there's no chance for even any nur to go in there. And the first person is a person who has some type of belief in a creator, but he does deeds, and those deeds, like we said, are coupled with disbelief. That is one tafsir. Other mufassirin say that the first one is, their example is أَعْمَالُهُمْ فِي الدُّنْيَا. Their deeds or their condition in the world is this, that they are doing these deeds and they're thinking they're going to get rewards, but then when they reach the hereafter, then they see that what's going to happen to them, that they won't get any rewards. And the second part, this one, where Allah Ta'ala says, أَوْ كُلُّمَاتٍ فِي بَحْرِ لُجِهِ, that's the condition of them in the akhirat. That's the condition of their deeds in the akhirat. So one is the dunya and one is the akhirat. That's why Allah Ta'ala at the end mentions, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجْعَلِ, sorry, that was in the first one is the ulama say baraks, it could be any which way, but the first one is the deeds in the akhirat, because there's no reward, and the second one is their deeds in dunya, which are full of darkness. And that's why Allah Ta'ala says, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجْعَلِ اللَّهُ لَهُ نُورًا فَمَا لَهُ مِن نُور. The ulama say, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجْعَلِ اللَّهُ لَهُ نُورًا فِي الدُّنْيَا وَمَا لَهُ مِن نُور فِي الْآخِرَةِ. If a person was not given the light of iman coupled with those deeds in the dunya, so therefore he will never get it in the akhirat. So some say this first part, the miraj, is the deeds of the hereafter, and the second part is their deeds that they do in the dunya. Both of them, of course, will be rendered invalid. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the darkness of kufr, He always opens the door of hidayat. The door never closes. There's always a crack open. Usually the taras and the style of the Quran is that when Allah Ta'ala speaks about the disbelievers, then after that He speaks about His qudrat. He speaks about different things that may indicate to them the oneness of Allah Ta'ala, so that they can look and see, and then they can say that, why don't I have faith in the right Allah, in the correct Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because look at what He's doing all over. So Allah Ta'ala says, أَلَمْ تَرَ أَنَّ اللَّهَ يُسَبِّحُ لَهُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَالطَّيْرُ صَافَّاتٍ كُلٌّ قَدْ عَلِمَ صَلَاتَهُ وَتَسْبِيحَهُ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِمَا يَفْعَلُونَ. Allah Ta'ala mentions here and says, have you not seen أَنَّ اللَّهَ, that Allah Ta'ala is such that everything that's in the skies and the earth is glorifying Him. Everything in the skies and the earth is glorifying Him. Now glorification of those things other than insan, for example, the glorification of everything in the earth. For example, the plants are glorifying Allah. The trees are glorifying Allah. The birds, which He's going to mention, is glorifying Allah. All the animals, even the atmosphere and the clouds and the moon and the sun, all these things are glorifying Allah. So it could have two meanings. One meaning could be that glorification means that they are doing exactly what Allah Ta'ala has intended them to do. They do not disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala mentions in another ayat of Quran, أَعْطَى كُلَّ شَيْءٍ خَلْقَهُ ثُمَّ هَدَى. Allah Ta'ala says that we give everything its creation and then we guide it for its purpose. So some ulama say that yusabbih and tasbih does not mean real dhikr and things like this. It means that everything that Allah Ta'ala has created, it is actually doing the thing that Allah Ta'ala created it for. Obedience of Allah Ta'ala. Everything in the skies and the earth is in the obedience of Allah Ta'ala. Another meaning could be that tasbih is haqiqi. Right? That Allah Ta'ala is really, these things are really making dhikr of Allah Ta'ala. We know in another ayat, وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُ. That everything in the earth, it is doing the tasbih and doing the glorification of Allah Ta'ala. وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُم. But you don't know their tasbih. You do not know how they're doing the dhikr of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Even salat is mentioned. The trees are doing sajda. Right? وَالشَّجَرُ يَسْجُدَانِ. The trees, they are making sajda. But of course, the tree doesn't have a head and arms and knees. Right? It's doing sajda, but we don't know the way it's doing sajda. Allah Ta'ala, Rasulullah has mentioned that the sun even makes sajda to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. How it's making sajda? Allah Ta'ala says, وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُمْ. You don't know how they make sajda. You don't know how they're making tasbih, but they are. That's why in the ayat also Allah Ta'ala says, كُلٌّ قَدْ عَلِمَ صَلَاتُهُ وَتَسْبِيحَهُ. Each creation knows how to do its salat and how to glorify Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So, of course, our glorification, our salat is different, but the makhluk of Allah Ta'ala are doing it in another way. So Allah Ta'ala says, haven't you seen that everything in the earth, the skies and the earth, is glorifying Allah? وَالطَّيْرِ صَافًا. And also the bird with its wings outstretched. وَالطَّيْرُ صَافًا. The bird, when it's in the sky, it is doing the tasbih and glorifying Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. كُلٌّ قَدْ عَلِمَ صَلَاتَهُ وَتَسْبِيحَهُ. Every single creation knows their salat, their prayer to Allah Ta'ala, وَتَسْبِيحَ, and they know their glorification. This is a sign showing that this tasbih is haqiqi. It's real, and they are doing it, but they are doing it in forms that we don't understand. But they understand, they know how to do it. Allah Ta'ala teaches them how to do it. وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِمَا يَفْعَلُونَ. And Allah Ta'ala knows what you are doing. Meaning, since you have seen that the whole creation is in the tasbih of Allah Ta'ala, and the whole creation is doing salat to Allah Ta'ala, so aap insan, you human being, you also should do the good deeds as well. You should join and do the tasbih and the salat to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala says, He knows what you are doing. If you don't do tasbih and you don't do salat, Allah Ta'ala knows that. Allah Ta'ala then mentions more and says, وَلِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَإِلَى اللَّهِ الْمَصِيرِ. And for Allah Ta'ala is the kingdom of the skies and the earth. Every single thing is owned by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. وَإِلَى اللَّهِ الْمَصِيرِ. Us, this whole creation, it will be returning back to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala is wakil. Allah Ta'ala is the one who's warithus samawati. وَلِلَّهِ مِرَاثُ السَّمَاوَاتِ. The same way we have things and when we pass away, we have to give it away. Right? When these things are all destroyed, Allah doesn't give it. It comes back to Allah Ta'ala. He inherits everything. It all belongs to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala mentions even more. أَلَمْ تَرَ أَنَّ اللَّهَ يُزْجِي سَحَابًا ثُمَّ يُؤَلِّفُ بَيْنَهُ ثُمَّ يَجْعَلُهُ رُكَامًا فَتَرَى الْوَدْقَ يَخْرُجُ مِنْ خِلَالِهِ وَيُنَزِّلُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مِنْ جِبَالٍ فِيهَا مِنْ بَرَدٍ فَيُصِيبُ بِهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيَصْرِفُهُ عَنْ مَنْ يَشَاءُ يَكَادُ سَنَا بَرْقِهِ يَذْهَبُ بِالْأَبْصَارِ. Allah Ta'ala says, have you not seen how He drives and moves the clouds? ثُمَّ يُؤَلِّفُ بَيْنَهُ. Then He joins them together. ثُمَّ يَجْعَلُهُ رُكَامًا. Then He makes those mountains into a large heap. فَتَرَى الْوَدْقَ يَخْرُجُ مِنْ خِلَالِهِ. Then after that you see the water is coming out right from the mist in the middle of that cloud. Right now the hurricane is in Florida. May Allah Ta'ala protect the people over there. All those clouds and a large cloud, the eye in the middle, such a big cloud. Who's put it together? It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His power, His qudrat. Allah Ta'ala is mentioning in the Quran. Actually, there is even a knowledge that they study, and it is called nephology. The study of the clouds, meteorologists and stuff, the study of clouds, the different shapes, and this cloud will bring hail, and this cloud will bring rain, and what type of rains. People study these. These type of ayats are more appreciated by someone who studied nephology and studied the different forms and how the cloud brings rain. So Allah Ta'ala mentions it here, that first He moves the clouds, then they come together, then they stack on each other, then you have a cloudy day, and then the water comes out. وَيُنَزِّلُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مِنْ جِبَالٍ. And Allah Ta'ala, sometimes He sends down from the skies, from mountains. Meaning, not from the mountains, regular mountains. Those clouds are the size of mountains. فِيهَا مِنْ بَرَدٍ. And in those large, large mountains, you have the hail that's in there. Ever seen the hail? We don't get much hail here. But in other countries, I was in South Africa, sometimes we get hail. Big, gigantic ice balls coming down. Big hail. Or but it could be like snowballs, the snow coming down. فَيُصِيبُ بِهِ مَن يَشَاءُ. And it reaches to whoever Allah Ta'ala wants. وَيَصْرِفُهُ عَمَّا يَشَاءُ. And Allah Ta'ala turns it away from whoever He wants. He's in complete control of who gets the rain, who doesn't get the rain. يَكَادُ سَنَا بَرْقِهِ يَذْهَبُ بِالْأَبْصَارِ. And it's almost as if the flash of its lightning. Sana means flash. Barq means lightning. The flash of its lightning, it's almost as if it takes the eyesight away. If you look at it straight away, it's almost as if it can take away your eyesight. That's how incredible that flash of lightning is, that it comes out from it. Allah Ta'ala talks more about His qudrat. يُقَلِّبُ اللَّهُ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارِ إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَعِبْرَةً لِأُولِي الْأَبْصَارِ. Allah Ta'ala says He alternates the night into the day. This great phenomenon that's right in front of our eyes all the time. During the day, Maghrib comes in, the night comes in, everything quiets down. Then again the day comes. Every day is coming and every night is leaving at its appointed time. This is all from the qudrat of Allah Ta'ala. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَعِبْرَةً. In that there is great lesson. لِأُولِي الْأَبْصَارِ. For those people with insight, for those people who see and look and take lesson. وَاللَّهُ خَلَقَ كُلَّ دَابَّةٍ مِّن مَّاءٍ فَمِنْهُمْ مَن يَمْشِي عَلَى بَطْنِهِ وَمِنْهُمْ مَن يَمْشِي عَلَى رِجْلَيْنِ وَمِنْهُمْ مَن يَمْشِي عَلَى أَرْبَعٍ يَخْلُقُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Allah Ta'ala now speaks about the animals, the sky, now what's under the sky and on the surface of the earth. Allah Ta'ala says that Allahu khalaqa kulla dabba. Allah is the one that's created every single animal, and the origin of that animal is from water. Everything has been created, all of us, our origin is from water. وَفَمِنْهُمْ مَن يَمْشِي عَلَى بَطْنِهِ. Some of the animals are such that they are walking on their stomachs, like the snakes. وَمِنْهُمْ مَن يَمْشِي عَلَى رِجْلَيْنِ. And some of them, they are walking on two legs, like birds, kangaroos, gorillas, monkeys. They walk with two legs, 2 feet. وَمِنْهُمْ مَن يَمْشِي عَلَى أَرْبَعٍ. And some of the animals, they are walking on their fours. Tigers and lions, dogs, all these different animals, they walk on their fours. Camels, cows, most of the animals. يَخْلُقُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ. Allah creates whatever He wants. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Allah Ta'ala is able to do all things. Whatever animal He wants to create, He may create it. After this, Allah Ta'ala says, لَقَدْ أَنزَلْنَا آيَاتٍ مُبَيِّنَاتٍ وَاللَّهُ يَهْدِي مَن يَشَاءُ إِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. Allah Ta'ala says, He has sent down signs which are very clear. Right? The signs are clear. Nobody can say that I haven't been shown. I can't see how Allah Ta'ala is one. The signs are there. Whether the person rejects or not, that's different. But the clear signs are there. Allah Ta'ala after that says, the reason why some people don't get guided towards it, because Allah Ta'ala is Hadi. He's the one who can guide. وَاللَّهُ يَهْدِي مَن يَشَاءُ. And Allah guides to the straight path whoever He wants. After this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the munafiqeen. Because we talked about iman and we talked about kufr, and there's a hal in between which is even more dangerous than kufr. In the munafiqeen, fi dark al-asfali min an-nar. The munafiqeen, they will be in the lowest portion of the Jahannam. So now Allah Ta'ala talks about the munafiqeen. Allah Ta'ala says, وَيَقُولُونَ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالرَّسُولِ وَأَطَعْنَا ثُمَّ يَتَوَلَّى فَرِيقٌ مِّنْهُمْ مِّن بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ وَمَا أُولَئِكَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah Ta'ala says, and there are some people, they are saying that they believe in Allah Ta'ala and they believe in the Messenger. وَأَطَعْنَا, and we have obeyed. ثُمَّ يَتَوَلَّى فَرِيقٌ مِّنْهُمْ. Then from amongst them there's a group that turn away from this belief. مِن بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ, after they had said that. So they said we believe. They said we believe and we are following you. But then they turn away, especially in the difficulties. When the war starts, when there's some famine and some difficulty on the Sahaba and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then they turn. You can't see them. They start causing problems. They start now accusing the Sahaba and Rasulullah sallallahu of deceiving them and telling them that they falsely promised things to them. So these are the munafiqeen. Allah Ta'ala says after that, يعني وَمَا أُولَٰئِكَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ. These people, they are not believers. It's not such that you can turn on the faith and now turn it back on again and turn it off and turn it on and go back to kufr and come back to iman. No. Iman means that you believe in the good times and also in the bad times. Allah Ta'ala mentions, وَإِذَا دُعُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ لِيَحْكُمَ بَيْنَهُمْ إِذَا فَرِيقٌ مِّنْهُمْ مُعْرِضُونَ. Allah Ta'ala says, when they are called to Allah and His Rasul, so that they may make a decision between them, suddenly there's a group from amongst them who are ignoring. Most of the ulama say that this was revealed about one munafiq whose name was Bishr. And Bishr had a problem with a Jew. He had a dispute with a Jewish person, and the Jewish person was in the right. Meaning, he was right in his claim was right, and Bishr was wrong. Everybody told Bishr that you should go to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and get this dispute handled. Bishr knew that he was wrong, and he knew that he was going to go in front of Asdaq al-Sadiqeen, the most truthful of the truthful. If you're wrong, Rasulullah knows it. Even if you're a Muslim, even if you're Abu Bakr, he will vote against you and he will judge against you. He's going to judge what's haqq. Bishr, he did not go, and he ignored the requests and the demands of the people to go to Rasulullah and handle this case. And he went to Ka'b bin Hay. He went to the leader of the Jewish people, and he went there to handle his case. And of course, he had the sweet mouth and this, that, and knew how to talk his way out of it. And Ka'b made the decision for him in the court. So Allah Ta'ala talks about him here. إِذَا دُعُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ, when they call to Allah Ta'ala and Rasul, so that Allah and His Rasul can decide about their case, suddenly a group from amongst them, they start now, they start ignoring all of these calls. Allah Ta'ala mentions, وَإِن يَكُنْ لَهُمُ الْحَقُّ يَأْتُوا إِلَيْهِ مُذْعِنِينَ. Allah Ta'ala says, if they have some right over Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if they are in the right and they have a haqq, somebody owes them money, then they'll come to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, مُذْعِنِينَ, and in submission, obeying him. Yes, ata'na, ya Allah, oh Rasulullah, we are believing you, everything. Why? Because now they have a haqq. Somebody owes them money, some Muslim owes them money, then they go to Rasulullah, he owes me money, Ya Rasulullah, please help me out. But when the haqq is against them, and they now owe someone money, and when they are now the wrong in the court, so then now, this is when they say, no, I'm not going to Rasulullah. Last ayat, Allah Ta'ala says, أَفِي قُلُوبِهِم مَّرَضٌ أَمِ ارْتَابُوا أَوْ يَخَافُونَ أَن يَحِيفَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ وَرَسُولُهُ بَلْ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. It could arise the doubt that maybe they did not feel content with Rasulullah. It's possible that they didn't feel that Rasulullah was judging them with justice. So Allah Ta'ala answers that here and says, is there a sickness in their heart? Meaning nifaq. Are these people hypocrites that they don't really believe in Allah Ta'ala? Amir tabu. Or do they really doubt? Ayyakhafun, and they are in fear ayyahif Allahu alayhim wa rasuluh, that Allah and His Rasul will do an injustice to them, that they will not treat them fairly as judges. So what is it? They have nifaq. If they have nifaq, obviously they're gone. Or maybe there's some fear that they have, that Allah and His Rasul are not going to be, they're not going to be fair with us. They have a doubt. Allah Ta'ala says, بَلْ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. But rather these people, they are oppressors. The haqiqat and reality is that there's no fault in the Rasul of Allah Ta'ala. Obviously there's no fault in Allah. The 100% fault is in them. They are munafiq and they are hypocrites, and only because they are looking for their own purposes and their whims and fancies they are following. That's the only reason why they are not turning to Allah and His Rasul when they need a judgment in regards to any case of theirs. We will stop there inshallah and carry on with the next ruku next week inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. May Allah Ta'ala give us the understanding.